I don't know about you, but I found this super counterintuitive, and I learned something and I want to just record it down. So, imagine a wheel, right? And you apply a force on these pedals, right? I drew it like that. This is the axis. So you apply a force here. You would expect the wheel to turn this way, right? And that's what happens. If you take a bicycle wheel, you lift it up from the ground and you try it, that's what happens. The wheel turns this way. So this bottom pedal, if you follow the rotation and you apply a force this way, yeah, it turns this way if you lift the wheel off the ground. But what happens when you put the wheel on the ground? When you apply a force this way, the wheel actually rotates this way. Like, try it. There's YouTube videos on it, and this is super unintuitive to me. But I think I found the intuitive reason for this. When the wheel is floating, it the axis of rotation is here. The pivot point is here. But when the wheel is on the ground, the pivot point is here. So and this becomes your new wheel, so to say. Like, I don't really know, but like this is your new pedal. So like, if you apply one force here and one force here, you're kind of, you're not generating force in the same direction. You're not, yeah, it if you put a bicycle wheel on the ground and you place, like, let's say this is a bicycle wheel, right? If you put a bicycle wheel on the ground, you see bicycle wheel, right? And you place your hands like one you move one here and you move the other here, you find that it's harder to move the wheel compared to if you were just to use one if you were to use just one hand. That's super counterintuitive, right? Because like, if the wheel wasn't on the ground and you apply two forces like this, then the wheel turns faster, right? It takes like half the amount of effort on both hands to get this wheel to spin. But on the ground, it actually takes like more effort. You try it. That's crazy. I think I found a better way to illustrate it. So if you apply a force on the wheel while it's in the air, then yeah, you expect it to rotate like this. This is exactly what happens, because this is your axis of rotation. This is your pivot point. Like, if you were to, like, have it connected to the entire bicycle, then and then you hold the bicycle in place, like this part doesn't move. And then if you were to just do this, then yeah, this point stays in space, fixed in that point. So this is your pivot point. But if you take the bicycle wheel, you place it on the ground, and then now suddenly you can think of the bicycle wheel as just this line, and then this is your pivot point. So if you apply a force here, then yeah, you will see that, this goes like that. But if you apply a force here, then then you'll go like that. Does that make sense? It's like, you can just ignore if you just ignore the rest of the bike. It's this is the composition of a bike, right? It's just one line like that, and you apply a force here, it falls this way. The stick goes here, right? You apply a force here it the stick falls this way. Yeah, that's the intuitive part, I guess. So I was wondering, right? What happens with this kind of bicycle chain? You see, the hold on. So the force here. Oh, hold on. Is pulling this way, whereas this one is pulling this way. So isn't this like bad? Doesn't this make it harder to cycle, right? I found that most bicycles they look like this. They have the top part in contact, but the bottom part is not so much in contact. That way is easier. I feel like this is the correct way to do a bicycle chain, which I didn't know that there would be a difference. I just thought that you know it would work the same. This wheel and this chain orientation and this chain orientation, but according to what I just discovered, I think this one is much harder to cycle on, right? I that's crazy. And look, the chain is tense on the top part. Eh? No, this is a broken. Uh, yeah, but it makes sense, right? That it would be tense on the top part and not so tense on the bottom part. I don't know, man. That's crazy.